Hi guys, I'm Dan with Route 2 Power Sports, and today we're going to begin a new series of videos, sort of instructional videos, to help you select the best and the right parts for upgrades, mods, repairs for dirt bikes, pit bikes, ATVs, UTVs, and quads. This is the first in our series, and please subscribe so you can keep updated with new videos as they come out. The first video today is going to be about selecting rear brake assembly for dirt bikes and pit bikes like this one here. Okay, on the master cylinder mounting hole position, you want to confirm here your spacing. So from the center of the bottom hole to the bottom of the top hole there, we got about 40 millimeters to 55 millimeters. So you can work with 40 to 55. Right in the middle is about 43 to 50, okay? So remember, from the center of that fixed hole, and then you have a range on the top hole. And then if we look to inches on the other side of this tape measure, we have, I would say dead center of it is 2. So we're ranging from like 1 3/4 to 2.5 inches. And from the bottom mounting hole of the master cylinder to the plunger mounting hole, we're running 112.5 millimeters. And inches, it's hard to get in here, let me see. Inches, it'll go this way. Inches, we're right at 5, yeah. So this bike looks like it's American numbers. 5 inches to the dead center, or maybe 5 1/16. Okay, and another key measurement we need to check here is the brake line length. So you want to check from the caliper mount here, where it goes in, center that to the very end where it goes into the master cylinder. So I'm going to use a tape measure. I got a third hand over there. Right to the center of it, okay? Now let's pull it tight as we can, and we got right around 22 inches, or 550 millimeters. And you should probably add about an extra inch or so, or an extra 25 millimeters, so you have some room to play with, because you can bend it and tie it up out of the way. Better than being short and then it doesn't fit your bike. And one more number we want to check is the rear axle diameter, because that's the where the caliper mounting plate's going to go in. So we're going to check your axle diameter here. I'm using a caliper in millimeters. This is a Chinese bike, so it should be metric. And we should be right around 12. Yes, this is going into the thread. So we're right around 12. And we can also confirm here using the hole. I don't know if we can get it on camera though. We're right at 11.9, so really close. This is considered a 12. Check that, make sure that everything's going to fit right on your bike. We are searching for an Amazon.com here for a rear brake assembly. So I'm going to type in rear brake. I can't type today. Assembly for dirt bike. Okay, and we got 217 results. That's a lot. Oh, I have a bag from this brand. Okay, so a lot of results. I see a lot of variety. Some have like just this here, and this one comes with a whole bunch of stuff. So let's scroll through and pick out a few, and let's look at a few features that you should keep in mind when you're selecting the brake assembly for your dirt bike or pit bike. Pick the wrong guy. Let's look at another guy here. Yeah, this one says 50 centimeters, 19.7 inches. So check your brake line against your original one. What's the total length you're going to need? You could, like this one, if you round it up to 20 inches would be good, because it's better to have a little bit extra than be too short and you can't mount it. But a little bit extra you can kind of bend and tie wrap out of the way. One of the key things you want to check when you're shopping for your rear brake assembly is check all the dimensions. So number one dimension, really critical, is your axle shaft diameter. See, this one here is 15 millimeters. Other guys, let's see this one. See, this one here is a 12 millimeter. There, 12 millimeter versus these guys were 15 millimeter. So critical. Make sure
of that. Also, check all your other mounting holes spacing, like here on the master cylinder, check the spacing here, and also the maximum from this hole to the plunger length. This is important, so you must check all these dimensions. Another thing here I noticed in a few of these listings, this model here has this brake extension bracket or pressure relief bracket, and we'll talk about that later. And then this one here does not. See, there's not that external bracket. And like this one also does not have a bracket. Here's another one that does not have a bracket. So you see that black bracket? Let's go back to the first one. Black bracket here. This one has it, other one doesn't. So, best value, in my opinion, this one has a bracket.
Okay, we just looked at these two links about two different types of brake assemblies. I'm going to show you the details here. First one is a pretty standard plunger type here. The master cylinder mounting holes and the plunger like this. And then the other variety we looked at on the internet or the Amazon links is this one here, which has this extra bracket. This bracket, I don't know, I guess we can call it a pressure relief bracket or a brake extension retainer bracket. What it does is when your bike is being transported, let's say it's on a trailer or pickup truck or whatever, when you're transporting, not riding it, your bike can bounce around and the brake can go up and down and cause even some air bleeding into your line. So this has basically a retainer that keeps the brake plunger from going up and down and prevents that air bleeding and potential damage to your brakes and your bike.
Okay, another thing to take a look at here when you're searching the listings is the brake line material. Hard to see here, but we will take a look closer. But basically there's a rubber type, and then there's like a stainless steel reinforced type. Let's see if I can find a good picture here. This one here. You see this kind of ribbing? This is a stainless steel reinforced, so it's much stronger.
And we've been looking at a lot of links here on Amazon about the different brake assemblies available. Let's look at some of the material differences the different companies and manufacturers are using. One key point I would recommend is here I'm going to say we have a good and a better, or a better and a best hose, because I've seen worse. But this is a middle grade. This is a high pressure rubber hose with 2 layers versus I would say the best, which is a stainless steel spiral wound exterior. This is a hydraulic or pneumatic hose for aviation grade. So this is what's used on airplanes. This can withstand a lot more pressure because there's a stainless steel braided covering than this. This can just bulge and blow out. So best, better, and there are some inferior ones. We didn't cut one to show you, but I would recommend this.
Okay, another thing to point out, some of the listings give you a bonus set of brake pads, and some of them don't. Like this one here does not come with a brake pad. So I think it's beneficial because brake pads wear out pretty quickly. So look for a gift of brake pads from these sellers.
Okay, we've been looking at a bunch of links, and another differentiating feature, some of the brake assemblies give you a nice bonus, free, let's say, included set of brake pads, and some don't. So brake pads easily wear on dirt bikes and pit bikes because you're braking a lot and you're giving them a lot of abuse. So if it's included in the kit, why not? Also, save you some labor in changing out brake pads if you just buy a new set of calipers and then you got to go install pads as well. Also saves you from having to shop some more. So maybe buy a set with free included brake pads.
Another thing to take a look at is the paint. Even that, there seems to be a big difference on the different listings. Like this one here is a black paint. It just looks like basic black paint. And some of these guys are doing like, looks like a powder coat and then paint it over. So that would give you more protection against, nicks and scratches and corrosion.
And another differentiating feature, or let's say quality feature in the materials, and workmanship. It looks like it's actually powder coated and then painted over with some enamel rugged paint. So this will resist corrosion and chips and scratches and won't leave paint chips everywhere, as opposed to some, just black spray painted calipers you see from some others. So even the paint, and by the way, it gives you some nice styling, fancy gold ones versus just plain black. So styling and better corrosion and chip resistance, paint.
Another thing you can see here is, you see the mounting holes, and in relation to the plunger here. This is a single round hole at the bottom and then the wider hole at the top. And then some of them are the other way around, or this one has like fixed holes, so it's very not so adjustable. And some others, well, this one's flipped over, but you can see there's a wide hole by the plunger and a fixed hole at the top. There is a difference, so let's pay attention to that.
And one more last differentiating feature I want to point out. You see these two master cylinders? No, I'm not holding one upside down. They're being held the same way. But you see the mounting holes? The wide one at the bottom on the right here, and the wide one on the top on the left. Actually, many are like this, but you can see a few links on Amazon that are configured like this. We think this is better because this gives you a fixed position for the mount, and this is the only one that gives you any variable here on the top. By having a fixed hole closer to the plunger, it's more secure and it's not going to come loose. So on this one, it's closer to the plunger here, and this can slide around easier. So smaller hole, definitely more secure, right where all the pressure is being exerted. Again, in our opinion, this is a superior design.